Hey, this is Bill Hauser, CEO of the S&B team, and in this video, you're going to see my interview with Jay Abraham when he talks about 3 specific referral systems that you can roll out to 2x the revenues of any business, okay? It is super, super good stuff. I was taking so many notes as I was interviewing him that literally my hand was cracking for the whole next day. You're going to learn 3 things in this video, so make sure you pay attention. Number 1, how to create the perfect referral system. Number 2, the number 1 question you have to ask every client you deal with to get a referral from them. And then number 3, if you stick through to the end, why referrals with data tied to it are actually the best source of income for your business. And also, he'll show you at the end how to get 100 to 300 leads per year additional by just doing one thing that takes you a few minutes, okay? So I'm super excited about the value you're gonna get in this video. Make sure you pay attention, comment when you learn something because it creates a mind neural connection and you're gonna absorb what you learn. And then also like this video, hit that like button and subscribe so that it tells YouTube I'm doing the right thing so more people can see this content. I will see you in the interview with Jay Abraham.
Many years ago, I started looking at the concept of marketing and optionality, and it's all about optionality. I looked at highest and best use, and I said, what are the very best sources of business anybody could get? And the obvious answer is referrals. And when I used to do a major training, and I do them for Tony Robbins and other people, I would be live. I'd ask people in the room to stand up if they could honestly say, and I might have be taking a little Bill's thunder, but I'll do it redundantly. If they would say that at least 20 to 100% of their business comes from referral or word of mouth, normally 50% or more of the audience stands up. Then I would say, okay, only remain standing if you have in place at least one formalized, systematized, constantly adhered to referral generating strategy that you and everyone else who interfaces with a client applies. 95% would sit down. Then I'd say 2 strategies. 95% of the remaining 5% would sit down. When I said 3, they would all sit down. And then I said, well, first of all, because I've worked in over 1,000 industries, not businesses, we've identified literally 150 different no cost, no risk strategies that can be applied at the point of contact, throughout the delivery of the product or service, at the end, post product or service delivery, at certain convergent points in either economy or occurrences, seasonality. We've got ways to do it with people that don't buy, with prospects. We've got ways to do it with all kinds of other relationships. I've got ways for you, and I'm going to teach it to you so it's not teasery, that you can build literally 1,000 entity referral generating super network in all of about 6 months or less, no cost, and have every one of them love referring to you. But referral generating clients, number 1, they buy faster, they negotiate or question less, they buy usually more, they stay longer, they're more enjoyable to deal with, they're normally more profitable, they refer more people, and they cost you nothing vis-a-vis the other alternatives, which is Facebook and radio or television or whatever else you are doing. And what people don't realize is external marketing and advertising produces the outer periphery of trust building. It's very, very, very suspect. You have to work very hard to take somebody from apprehension, uncertainty, to consideration, to okay, to commitment. And even after commitment, they're not absolutely sold. Whereas a referral generated prospect, or in your case, client, they're sold. So anytime you can, you want to put your resources into generating referrals. I'll give you a little of the psychology. So the first, and this overlays with preeminence, but the first thing you've got to decide is, are you deserving of getting referrals? If you're not getting a lot of referrals, you got to ask yourself, why is that? And if you're getting a lot episodically and intermittently and organically, imagine if you doubled or redoubled that again with systemization, what that would do to your practice, cases, cash flow, collections, whatever the denominator is. So if you decide to make referral generation a condition of doing business, the way you would do it is at the point of contact. Let's say somebody calls the practice. You could start by asking right away, who referred you? Whether they had an answer or not, if they had an answer, you would say, oh, he's a very wonderful man, woman, or the company. We love them and we've been very pleased to serve them, or whatever the relationship. If they said, oh, I saw your advertising, your response would be, oh, we advertise modestly, but the bulk of this business is referral driven. We're very proud of the fact. Pardon?
That is amazing. Sorry, this is amazing.
Well, no, I'm just giving you language and I'm giving you, and I haven't done this. Guys and girls, I'm ADD and I wanted to try to give you something that was more authentic than just giving you a PowerPoint. So bear with me because I'm going to jump around a little bit. So your point is that this practice is referral based, and it's referral based for a reason. Number one, we take great pride in the way we serve our clients. We try to do more and be more, and we put a lot more of our resources in people and invest in training and research and all kinds of support to make sure that we are the winningest professional you could choose. We do that instead of putting that money into advertising, and the payoff to us is almost every one of our clients is eager to re-refer to us as they start experiencing the value we bring. But when we start a relationship, we do the following. We tell you in the beginning exactly and precisely what you should expect us to provide you. And then you go through a litany. First of all, we're going to treat your case as if it were our own. We're going to put the best people on it, the best attention to it. We're not going to cut any corners. You're going to be on our top of mind. We are going to be passionately committed to your best interest, your family's, your outcome. You can know that we are thinking about you when you're not on the phone or in the office. We take every client seriously, and it becomes a labor of love for us. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. You go through everything. We will actually verify that with you throughout the relationship. So we are certain, and you are also, that we are delivering and performing as we say. After we do what we say, we ask in exchange, once we give you an outcome that you're very satisfied with, that you agree that over the course of the next 6 or 9 months, you will refer to us at least one equal quality man or woman or company or corp referral when the opportunity arises, which unfortunately, if you're dealing in negativity, if you're trust and estates, it's different. But if it's negativity, you can say, which unfortunately statistically happens 1 out of 2 people. And we can promise that over the course of your life, you're going to have friends, relatives, and you start programming who they are, what they are in the scenarios. And then you remind them of that throughout as you are reminding them of the fact that you are adhering to what you said. So that's perfection. The second is that throughout, if you're a multidiscipline practice, throughout the relationship with the client, you share anonymized different case scenarios and things you're doing. And so they are aware of other functions you provide. And you make the point, matter of fact, you say, wow, I just got done a few minutes late, or you're on the phone, or you came in, you can say, I'm looking forward to talking, but I just got done with one of the most interesting partner dissolution, or this or that. And you just talk about it and say, a lot of people don't know that we do that. And I'm very proud of our track record. It can be very nasty, but unfortunately in businesses, and you just keep introducing continuously those scenarios so that they're aware, and you program them to say you probably have in your life, either unfortunately, or you will have somebody you care deeply about, can be a friend, a relative, neighbor, somebody you work for or works for you, who has in their life something. And just please know that anytime that happens, anybody that was a client of ours, we take very seriously and we care deeply about. Anyone you care about, you are always welcome to refer to us for our best reasoned expert assessed wife, a mother, a father. They have hopes and dreams and lots of other issues. And one of the things that I find, and it humanizes the professional, but it also galvanizes the relationship, is that if you start intermittently to do value added discussion groups where you bring experts in on subject matter that transcends the limitation of just your issue. It attracts people in really cool ways. And when you do that, you're able to tell them when you invite a current or past client that they can feel free to invite as many of their friends or colleagues that they want. And it introduces, you're the host of it, you're the moderator. But if you think about it, COVID, who do you know that's not worried about their health? Who do you know that's not worried about their wealth? Who do you know in business that isn't trying to basically make their business more successful? Who do you know that doesn't have issues sometimes with their children? Who do you know that wouldn't like to have a more loving relationship? I mean, really, who do you know that wouldn't like to know a method to lose 15 pounds quickly, easily, without really starving? There's about 5 organizations that are either leads type organizations or referral organizations, and you pay a couple grand and you get together once, whatever the interval is, weekly or monthly, and there's 30 non-competitive business people together, and they just go around the room selling everybody on each other, and they get referrals. And the advertising for these companies say that people get as many as 50 referrals a year and something like a 200 time return on their investment. You're familiar with those kind of businesses, right? So I have a lot of different theorems. One of them is what I call the Indiana Jones School of Business. Do you remember the first Indiana Jones movie?
I'm pretty young, so
Okay, so in the
not
first
not very
Indiana
well.
Jones movie, the very original one, some of the older attorneys will, if not, I'll tell you. Indy was being chased down a bazaar somewhere in the Middle East by a bunch of very, very onerous looking and very nasty looking villains. And he went to try to escape them, and he slipped down an alley. And as he got to the end, it turned out it was a dead end. And there at the end of the alley was this 7.5 foot tall giant who was swinging 2 of these, I think they're called scepters, these wild Middle Eastern type of swords. And for a pensive moment, the viewer thought that Indy was a goner, except it was only 20 minutes into the movie, so it was improbable. But nevertheless, after a minute, Indy pulled out a gun and sort of said, screw that shit, and changed the game. You have the ability in everything you do to change the game, with the exception of legal, moral, ethical. Legal, you interpret; moral, you interpret; ethical, you interpret. And there's certain constraints, but there's a lot of flexibility. For everybody that has ever been a member of one of those groups, or has thought about it, or is in one, I challenge you to think differently. There is no law that says you can't, instead of being one of the 30, instantly self declare yourself the host of as many of those groups as you want to organize. And instead of charging people, you buy it. You can go throughout your community, if that's your target audience, and you can organize 30 of them that meet once every 2 weeks with 30 different people, non-competitive, and you can do incredible things and bring them together and facilitate them. Because for everybody that pays for something like that, there's a huge portion of people that don't correlate any kind of formalized additional activity or expertise to having value. But instead of being one cog in the wheel, if you were the basic hub of 20 or 30 of them every month, and then each one had 30 people, and one that has 30 supposedly produces 50 referrals, what the matter would you think you would get?